Now, the conspiracy theorist, when it comes to things like this, the ray guns, death rays, they attract persons after them. Pardon me. Okay? And those persons may criticise others for believing the media, for being drawn in, attracted. But they're doing the same, but not with the media, with the camp of conspiracy theorists. How many disciples, I wonder, are following their master, Judy Wood? With a weapon that has not been perfected, with a weapon that must have been invisible, with a weapon that, according to the firemen on site and others, created explosions on each floor. That goes against the death ray. Okay? How many? You know, it's an easy picking thing for a wicked person, a very, very wicked, evil person to come along and to draw us away by fantasy. And this is what happens with the media. It's all fantasy, and it draws. The media is like a magnet, and people are drawn in to a deception. And you've got the cults, and I would call Judy Wood a cult. And the main object of that cult is her and her weapon of mass destruction. Now, there's a very, very important thing here that is overlooked by the conspiracy theorists because they're blinded to the truth. Just as much as if you were to go down and say to a Mormon or a Mooneyite or a Jesuit or a Papist or Russellite, Jehovah's Witnesses, any person within a group that has been created by man and has drawn man into it, if you say they're wrong, they go ape. Because to them it's right. They can't see any other. And you know, there are many, thousands, the same with the media. You point out, look, here's the evidence. They go ape. Now I and others, I know for myself, and I cannot accept that I am alone in this. Whenever we come to the media, we've distrusted it. We've believed it, yet we've distrusted it. And if somebody were to come along and say this, that and the other, I'd ask for evidence, because I wouldn't believe them. But I was open to evidence, and people are open to evidence. There are certain sections of humanity that are open to evidence. That will say, where's the evidence? And I'll consider what has been said and try and fathom this pigging thing out. Okay? Again, the very important thing here. Okay? Now this comes back to the likes of the Second World War. You might say, well, what's that got to do with things as well? Well, on the top of everything that we've just said, in the Second World War, okay, one of the things, many things, that the government created as a falsehood was angels. I may have mentioned this before, I don't know. Angels. They wrote up and they spread it abroad, as it were, across the world, that angels had been seen in England. They tried to convince the Germans that England was protected, divinely protected. Okay, and people believed them. I won't say Germans believed them. I don't know any German personally of the time. But that's what went on, and people believed. Bound to have believed. People are like that. Okay, so the propaganda was there. Now when we come to death rays, the same applies, I believe. Because it looks upon the same lines, to be on the same lines. The US government want Russia, pardon me, Russia in particular, and other nations, to accept that they have the death ray. And they put out all this footage showing their death ray. That it's working. Conspiracy theorists come along and buy into it. These are the very buggers that say, oh, the media's not to be believed. Well, you just picking believed it, matey boy. And so it is that when the propagandist put these videos on of shooting these drones down and missiles down and shooting at a ship, as we say, the conspiracy theorists believe it, and people in general believe it, but there are those of us who know very well that behind it they're not going to show the failures. And they are failing. They haven't got a complete 100% weapon. How do we know that? Well, it's simply this. It would be fitted to ships and planes and tanks and armoured vehicles. That's how we know. Because once something is perfected, it goes out onto the field. It's having still its field trials. It's still not perfected. So, Judy Woods and the rest of you, you've got a machine that is not perfected. Stolen by terrorists. Okay? And in this incident, here, used by the US government. Right. And what are you doing? Well, you're providing champagne and caviar and after-eight mints for the US government. The Defence Department, because what you're picking doing is saving them money. And oh, how they must laugh and cheer and shake their hands and pat their backs. Hey, buddy boys, we've got the conspiracy theorists joining us. Welcome, conspiracy theorists. Thank you for promoting our weapon of mass destruction. Hey? You never thought of that, did you? You conspiracy theorists. You are backing up the US Defence Department's lies, like angels in the Second World War. You're doing their dirty work. You spanners. What you like, eh? You never figured that out, did you? In your rush to establish the government line, eh? The government that you say tells lies and all the rest of it, deception and blah 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 blah. Change the bigging script, because the script doesn't belong to you. As long as you're backing the US government and its War Department, or Defence Department as it is now, they had to change it so that they could make war without a reason, basically, without being attacked. Okay? Because if you have a War Department, it means that you must be attacked first of all. But if you have a Defence Department, you can go on the defence. You see, the cunning buggers. So you have just sided with the US government. You are the cheap promotion for the US government. Defence Department, you prats, you absolute spanners. Eh? You're going out here now, and I tell you what, they must be laughing their socks off in the Pentagon. They must be, oh man. Eh? And the more piggy footage they release, the more they must laugh and smile and go, hey, got these silly buggers on our side now. Eh? Cheap advertisement, right? You spanners. Absolute pigging spanners. And when it comes to these pigging fires, we need to take time and to sort out what is going on. And time will reveal all. Give it time. There is a reason behind these fires and how they've been set. That reason is not clearly evident at the moment. It's like anything else, you conspiracy theorists. You've got to give it time. How do you think the truth comes out about accidents, disasters? Does it come out in a flash? Does it buggery? Eh? It takes time to put the pieces together. And once you get the pieces of the puzzle together, you see the picture. And it's about picking time. You lot got off your friggin' horses, got a sodding life, got some substance to your sodding life, and considered things as they are. Eh? Oh, the plane came down. Conspiracy theorists would come. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, it was this, it was that, it was the other. Let's write a report up. That's what I say, and I'm not going to change my pigging mind. Nah, 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 nah. And the Air Accident Investigative Board is there for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and then they get to the bottom of it. You know, if we went the way of the conspiracy theorist, we'd have disaster after disaster after disaster, because nothing would be properly examined and the thing would be repeated again. And this is what disgusts me about the conspiracy theorists. Apart from the fact that they're damn sight lazy, bone idle, utterly bone idle. They cannot justify one piece of their doctrine that they put out, their teaching. They're bone idle. God save us from these awful people. Awful people. Well, I'm going to go because Molly won't be in for tea. But no, we're going to take time and I'm going to look at this footage and keep an eye on this footage, on this event, and see what is going on. It might be that the government has come along and decided, all right, get some guys in here. You go over there, Jack, you go over there, Tim, you go over there, and you go over there. And oh bugger, one of them's in court. Arrested. To set light to the place so that the whole thing can be redeveloped. Who knows? And maybe that's why certain areas are unaffected, because they don't want them to be burnt, destroyed. Who knows? We shall know in the end. Just as we had Grenfell Towers in the UK, London, England. Now that was brought down clearly on evidence because it was a pigging eyesore. The government gave the nod. Developers went in, well, contracted persons to go in and set light to the buggering thing, burn it down. Because you see, they wanted the area upgraded. Posh knobs. They want all the scum, as they call people, the lower classes, out. So they started with Grenfell Towers. Now, the next tower to be built, if it's going to be built there, will be modern flats. That's why it's done. And any person around that area will tell you that that's why it was done. Because it is evident that's why it's done. And that's why people are being pushed out. And in fact, not just there, but London as a whole. British government, through their councils, local councils, are evacuating all the immigrants and all the lowlifes that are amongst the immigrants and amongst the English. Okay, unfortunately we do have lowlifes, like every country. And they're taking them out of London and attracting into London the wealthy, the oligarchs and the like. And that's going to be a very, very posh place. I don't see them getting rid of the East End. The Islamists of the East End, by their friggin' neck, they'd have to take tanks down that place. Literally tanks. To get these people out, they'd have to blast them out. They're not going. They would probably be the ghetto, you know, to the likes of Washington. Anyhow, we're going to go, but we're going to give this time. We're going to see how this works out, plays out, because there's something here that is not right, that speaks of government, and as we say, probably developers. They're very cunning. Operation Gladio. Well, bye bye.